Something unusual just happened in the Upper Marlboro, Maryland housing market. Homes are still selling, buyers are still competing, but the speed of the market suddenly slowed down. And if you're planning to buy or sell in Upper Marlboro this year, these numbers from February could completely change your strategy. In February 2026, the Upper Marlboro housing market remained firmly in seller territory, meaning demand still outweighed supply. But the latest data reveals a market that is cooling slightly after the intense pace of the past 2 years. Instead of rapid price spikes and lightning-fast sales, the market is beginning to show signs of normalization. This doesn't mean the market is weak. It means it's becoming more balanced and more strategic. Let's start with the headline number: home prices. In February 2026, the median sold price in Upper Marlboro ranged between $470,000 and $475,000. That represents about a 1% drop compared to January. And depending on the data set, prices were also between 1 and 3% lower than February of last year. But here's the key point many headlines miss. This is not a crash. This is simply a modest correction after years of aggressive appreciation. Next is the number of homes that actually sold. In February, sales volume ranged between 39 and 79 homes, depending on whether analysts measured just the city or the surrounding zip code areas. And in some reports, sales activity actually increased nearly 15% compared to last year. That tells us something important. Even though the market is slowing slightly, buyers are still actively purchasing homes. Now, here's where we see the biggest shift in the market. The median days on market jumped to between 47 and 74 days. That's a significant increase compared to 21 to 43 days during February of last year. In other words, homes are still selling, but buyers are taking more time to make decisions. This often happens when buyers start seeing more inventory and slightly less urgency. Inventory also increased during February. Roughly 252 active homes were available on the market. While that might sound like a lot, demand across Prince George's County remains strong. So despite the rising inventory levels, the market still leans towards sellers overall. Another important metric is the list-to-sold price ratio. In February, sellers received about 100% of their asking price on average. That means homes that were priced correctly still sold very close to list price. So while the market is cooling slightly, sellers are still in a strong negotiating position. Market trends can also vary depending on the neighborhood. In zip code 20772, typical home values were around $468,752, with homes going pending in about 39 days. In zip code 20774, home values averaged about $460,580, representing a slight 0.9% annual decline. This shows how local micromarkets within Upper Marlboro can behave very differently. For buyers, this market shift means more negotiating power and more time to shop. For sellers, pricing strategy is now more important than ever. The days of listing any home at any price and receiving 10 offers overnight are starting to fade. But well-prepared listings in desirable neighborhoods are still attracting strong demand. Overall, February 2026 shows an Upper Marlboro housing market that is transitioning from rapid growth to a more balanced pace. Prices remain strong, buyers are still active, and sellers still hold the advantage. But the market is clearly becoming more strategic, and that makes understanding the numbers more important than ever. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Upper Marlboro, Maryland this spring, you need to see this. Because the March 2026 housing forecast just revealed something most buyers and sellers are completely missing, and it could impact how much you pay or how much profit you walk away with. After several years of dramatic housing market swings, the Upper Marlboro housing market is entering a stabilization phase. Instead of explosive price spikes, experts are now forecasting steady and sustainable growth. And for buyers and sellers alike, this new phase creates very different opportunities. Let's start with the latest numbers. As of February 2026, the median sold price in Upper Marlboro reached about $485,000. That represents roughly a 2% increase from the previous month, showing that home values remain strong. But here's where things get interesting. Despite steady prices, the market dynamics underneath are shifting. One of the biggest changes happening right now is inventory. active listings across Prince George's County are up more than 41% compared to early 2025. That means buyers are finally seeing more options on the market. But don't mistake this for a buyer's market just yet. Demand is still extremely strong, which means competition hasn't disappeared. It's simply becoming more balanced. Another sign the market is normalizing. Homes are staying on the market longer. Depending on the neighborhood and price range, properties in Upper Marlboro are now averaging between 34 and 74 days on the market. Just a few years ago, many homes were selling in less than a week. Today, buyers finally have a little more breathing room. Even with rising inventory, Upper Marlboro remains a seller's market. Why? Because buyer demand in this area continues to exceed available housing supply. But the difference now is that buyers are regaining some negotiating power, and that changes strategy for both sides of the transaction. According to forecasts from Bright MLS and the National Association of Realtors, Maryland home prices are expected to increase between 2 and 4% throughout 2026. That's not the explosive growth we saw earlier in the decade, but it is healthy, sustainable appreciation. And for homeowners, that means continued equity growth. Mortgage rates are also expected to ease slightly during 2026. Many forecasts suggest rates could average in the low 6% range. And if that happens, buyer affordability could improve heading into the spring home buying season, which could bring more buyers back into the market. Let's break down some of the local performance by zip code. In 20772, the median home value sits around $468,752, with homes going pending in about 39 days. In 20774, the median home value is approximately $460,580, with homes going under contract in about 36 days. Both areas are projected to see modest growth of around 0.5% in the near term. If you're thinking about selling your home, timing matters. Historically, the strongest selling window in Upper Marlboro is between April and June. During that time, buyer demand typically peaks, and homes often achieve their highest sale prices of the year, which means many sellers are preparing to list very soon. For buyers, this evolving market creates opportunity. More inventory means more homes to choose from, and slightly longer days on market may allow room for negotiation, but desirable homes in great locations still move quickly, which means preparation remains key. For sellers, pricing your home correctly is now more important than ever. Overpricing in today's market can lead to longer days on market and price reductions, but homes that are strategically priced and well presented are still attracting strong offers. The Upper Marlboro housing market in 2026 is evolving into a more balanced and strategic environment. For buyers, it may mean more options. For sellers, it may mean careful timing and smart pricing, and staying informed could make a major financial difference. And if you're planning to buy or sell in Upper Marlboro this year, make sure you watch my next video where I break down the biggest mistakes buyers and sellers are making in 2026.
Your ultimate hub for real estate insights, breaking news, entrepreneurial wisdom, investing strategies, and self-development hacks. If you're ready to expand your mind and stay ahead of the game floor, you're in the right place. Subscribe now. Your future self will thank you.